Okay. Where did we stop last week? We continue from local government accounting. After we finish local government accounting today, we move to public debt and debt management. So where do we stop last week?
We
In
stopped
local
at
government.
I think the function of local government. I don't
The
know.
function
Let me see. Yes.
of,
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay. Yes, now. The function of local government treasurer.
Okay. Have we talked about financial control in local government? Local government financial control. Have we talked about that?
Financial control. No. We haven't. I think so.
Okay. So let's start from there. That is 1.6. So local government financial control. Financial control of local government council. What this one is saying now is, what are the controls, measures that we need to put in place to ensure that local government fund is being protected against any mismanagement, to ensure that there is no mismanagement of local government fund, to ensure that all the local government revenue is properly accounted for, to ensure that the expenditure are incurred for the purpose in which they are budgeted for. So what control are we going to put in place? That is what financial control of local government is talking about. So for financial control of local government, we divide it into two. We have internal control and external control. Internal control and external control. For the internal control, what are those internal control? Those are the control that we put in place in the local government council that are within the local government. Those control, those measures that we use to guide against mismanagement of local government funds. But they are within the local government structure. They are within the local government structure. So for the internal control, they include, number one, issuance of financial authority. What do we mean by that? Issuance of financial authority simply means before any fund, before local government can spend any money, before any expenditure can be incurred, there have to be an authority. Authority from the top, authority from the above. So issuance of financial authority, this one is part of internal control established within the local government structure. Another one is appointment of committee for different service. Appointment of various committee for different service or different projects. Appointment of various committee for different services or projects. What this one is talking about is that in local government, the responsibility to manage the affair of local government should not be centered in the office of the chairman alone. Chairman, as the head of the local government, should appoint committee to manage different services, different sector. There should be education committee, there should be finance committee, there should be health committee, there should be environmental committee, there should be work committee. That means you are breaking down the chain of command. You understand? Each of the committee, at the end of the day, they will be reporting to the local government. It's part of internal control. It is part of internal control. Like I said, financial control of local government we can look at it in two angles: internal control and external control. Those control put in place within the local government, they are the internal control. But the one of external control, they are those control that are used to control the local government, but it's coming from the external party. You understand? It's not specifically designed by the local government. It's coming from the top management. So, still on internal control. Another internal control of a local government council is centralization of all payments. Centralization of all payments. That means that if they want to make any payment voucher within the local government, that payment voucher must be raised and processed from the finance department. The only department that can make payments to any vendor or any contractor must be within the finance department. Must be the finance department. And that payment must be approved by the council manager and the council chairman. That is centralization of all payments. Another one that we have is preparing standing order or instruction. Preparation of standing order and instruction on signing of check issued and payment on account. This one too is one of the internal control within the local government. It's also the internal control. Establishment and maintenance of internal audit department is also one of the internal control put in place within the local government. That means local government too must have internal audit department. Any payment that they want to make, that payment must be verified and vetted by the internal audit department. Internal audit department, they will carry out investigation in case of any fraud. Internal audit department, they will design a control that will guide against mismanagement of local government funds. They will be the one to establish internal control. Another internal control of a local government is preparation of estimate of income and expenditure for the year. Preparation of estimate of income and expenditure for the year. This one is talking about preparation of budgets. If they want to make any spending in the local government, that spending must be in line with budget. That means local government too, every year they need to be presenting their budget. They need to be preparing their budget and submit it to the legislative arms, which is the local government councillors. And the local government councillor will pass the budget into law. That means local government at the beginning of every fiscal year, they will have projection of what they intend to generate in terms of revenue and what they are planning to spend in terms of expenditure for the year. So that is that. Another one, budget control and feedback process is part of internal control of a local government. Budget control and feedback process. The last internal control of a local government is establishment of spending limits and authority limits. Establishment of spending limit and authority limit. What this one is saying now is every head of department, they have a spending limit and authority limit. The head of a local government is the council chairman. Council chairman cannot approve more than 20 million. Any payment that want to be made by the local government that is more than 20 million, that local government must seek the approval of the state. However, if they want to make any petty cash payments, such kind of payment don't need to go to the office of the chairman. A payment that is not more than 100,000, such payment can be approved by the council manager or the vice chairman or the council treasurer. So in a local government, the head of all the heads, council treasurer, local government chairman, council manager, they have the spending limit. They have the limit of money that they have power to can approve for payment. They can approve for payment. They have spending limits. Why they are doing this? To ensure that, to guide against mismanagement of funds. To guide against mismanagement of funds. So those are the internal control of a local government. Now, let's look at external control of a local government. Those are the control imposed on the local government by the external parties. By the external parties. By the external parties that they impose on the local government by the external party. Number one, legislative. Number one, external control of a local government is what? Legislative control. The State House of Assembly will have control on the local government. They can summon the local government chairman to come and explain how he spent any money allocated to them, the fund allocated to them.
So wait, you said external control. These are measures imposed on the local government by who?
By those who are not within the structure of the local government. They are government officials, like State House of Assembly. They are not within the local government, but they are government officials.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes,
they are
sir.
not within the local government. It's just like external auditor. Do you understand? Legislative control. The National Assembly, the Senate, they may have control on the local government. They can implement a law. They can pass a law that will ensure that the finances of the local government is well managed. They can request that they can carry out oversight function on the local government. Likewise, too, the State House of Assembly.
So I didn't get that part.
The State House of Assembly, every month, they can be demanding monthly financial reports that will be submitted by the local government. They will be asking the local government to be submitting financial report to them on a monthly basis. And they will set up a committee that will manage the affair of the local government, that will supervise the local government on how they spend money on different projects they are embarking on, the local government embark on. Likewise, too, we have federal government control and state executive control. President, federal executive, they may have control on the local government by saying that the statutory allocation given to the local government, the local government should be giving account on how they spend the statutory allocation. State executive too, state governor, commissioner for local government too, They may have control on a local government by demanding a report or by asking the local government that before you spend any money above 20 million, please let us be aware. It's external control, the general public control, the residents within that local government, they can control the local governments too. How? By partnership with the media. The general public can partner with the media so that any project that the local government said that they have, those projects that the local government promised that they want to do, if they have not done it and it has been approved in the budget, they can inform the media so that the media can take it up. In the long run, it's part of checkmate. They are using it to checkmate them. General public, the residents. Take for instance now, a local government chairman said, numbers Adelabu Street, they have helped them to construct the road, this and that, and they spent 20 million on the road, whereas the road is yet to be completed. Those who are residing in the environment, in that area, in that street, can be the witness by saying, no, this is the condition of the road. Ever since contractors started the road, they just grade the road. They did not, you understand? They can use that as a control. External auditor control. There are some in local government. We have 3 external auditors that will come to audit the finances, the financial statement, the record of the local government. First is Auditor General for the local government. Auditor General for the local government is appointed by the state governors to audit the account of all the local government within that state. And they will be the one to carry out routine check on the local government spending every month. Aside from Auditor General for the local government, we have Auditor General for the state. Auditor General for the state is also appointed by the state governor. They can, every year too, they will send their representative to come and look at the financial affairs of each of the local government within that state, apart from Auditor General for the local government reports. Because Auditor General for the local government is going to report to the State House of Assembly. The Auditor General for the state, he is going to report to the State House of Assembly too. He will also report to the state governor. Aside that, we have Auditor General for the Federation. Auditor General for the Federation is the one appointed by the president. The statutory allocation, the share of value-added tax given to the local government. Auditor General for the Federation need to know how local governments spend that statutory allocation given to them every month. That share of value-added tax given to them every month. That is the reason why they will send the auditors to come and audit local governments. These are external control. Any issue, any question, any query. So in the absence of no question, we can proceed. Now, let's look at problems of a local government council or limitation of local government or challenges of a local government. What are the problems experienced in the local government council or limitation of the local government or challenges? Let's look at them. Local government council are not allowed to raise tax or introduce new form of tax or raise loan without getting permission from the state government. This one is talking about lack of autonomy, lack of local government autonomy. This number one problem is talking about autonomy. Local government don't have power to carry out any activities on their own without the approval of the state governor, the state government. And as we all know, local government is a tier of government on its own. Ideally, it's supposed to be on a standalone. Local government should not be under the control of a state government. They should operate on their own. But local government cannot do anything. They have to collect approval. If the local government want to embark on any project or anything, they have to collect approval from what? From the state government. So that is lack of local government autonomy, lack of autonomy. They don't have power to generate funds on their own. They don't have power to execute projects without permission from the state government. Another one, local government council find it difficult to execute capital development projects because of limited funds. This one is talking about inadequate fund to finance projects. Is one of the problems affecting local government. Inadequate fund to finance projects. Local government don't have adequate fund to finance projects. There are a lot of projects that are supposed to be embarked upon by the local government based on the function assigned to them by the constitution. But they don't have enough fund. They don't have enough fund to execute that project. Such kind of project, they don't have enough fund. Inadequate fund. Another problems of a local government council, delay from the federal and state government in releasing their statutory allocation. Before the statutory allocation will be released, it will take a long time. Federal government will send it to the state government. Before state government release it to local government, it can take a long period. Even some state government will not even release the statutory allocation to the local government. Is one of the problems facing the local government. Another one, rising costs and increased demand for improved service without corresponding increase in revenue. This one is talking about local government, the service demand from the angle of local government, from the citizen, is increasing day by day. The expectation the resident of the local government is expected from the local government is increasing day by day without increasing the revenue. Local government don't have much revenue stream, but the demand from the public, the expectation the public are expecting from them in terms of performance is increasing daily, on a daily basis, whereas the revenue is not increasing. Another problems of a local government. Do you want to ask a question? Another problem. Ineffective and inefficient management of a local government fund, ineffective and inefficient management of a local government fund. Ineffective and inefficient management of a local government fund. Please try to mute your audio. Try to mute your audio. Ineffective and inefficient management of local government fund. He's talking about mismanagement of local government fund by the local government official. Embezzlement of fund. The local government chairman, some of them, even despite that the state governor is not giving them the statutory allocation, the little IGR they are generating, some of the local government chairman, they embezzle it. They don't do anything. They are not performing. They mismanage the local government fund. They embezzle it. It's one of the problems. Because people believe that local government is the tiers of government at the grassroots, and what they expect is to be sharing money without doing any project. So most of the people elected in the local government posts, they mismanage the local government fund. They embezzle it. Despite having all this control we mentioned earlier, they still look for a way to break those internal control, to break the external control. They mismanage the local government fund. Another problems of a local government is inadequate qualified and experienced personnel. Inadequate qualified and experienced personnel. Inadequate qualified and experienced personnel. Those who are managing the affair of the local government, some of them are not qualified enough to manage it.
Some of them are not qualified enough to manage it.
For you to become the local government chairman, the constitution said you must have primary school certificate, first school living certificate, which is primary school certificate. I know.
Sir, you need to off your speaker.
Somebody's mic is on. Monsurat, off your mic. Somebody's mic is on. Monsurat, off your mic.
Why is it reoccurring? Like,
It's because it's using two systems or two phones. So it needs to off the speaker so that it won't be echoing at the background.
Hello.
It's clear now.
It's clear now.
Hi.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So inadequate qualified and experienced personnel. So the local government chairman, for you to be elected as a local government chairman, the law said the minimum certificate you must have is first school living certificate, which is primary school certificate. So those who are elected in the position of the local government chairman, councillor, they are not well educated. they are not well educated. So to manage the affair of the local government, that is the reason you can't see a good policy from them. Virtually 60% of those who are working in the local government, even as a civil servant, 70% of them, the highest they will have is secondary school certificates. So inadequate, qualified, and experienced personnel is one of the problems also affecting local governments. Another one, for the sake of time, political instability of local government. Political instability of local government. Political instability of local government. The political structure of the local government is not stable. How? It depends on the governor of the state. Example of that, I remember in Nigeria, there was a state, they just conducted the election of the local government just a week, and they sworn in the chairman. Within 2 weeks, the governor that squared the election of that local government, the governor of that state, was removed by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said it's not the one that wins the governorship election. They put another governor. The new governor that was sworn in, the first thing that governor has to do is to do what? He dissolved the local government. The newly elected local government chairman that just spent 2 weeks, he dissolved the council. He appoints his own person. You understand? He appoints caretaker committee. What we are saying in essence is that, assuming those who are just elected into the position of the chairman, the councillor, they have a plan for that local government. That plan cannot be realized. The plan will not be stable because of changes in leadership of the local government. A governor can wake up tomorrow that this local government chairman, I don't like him again. I'm removing you. Political instability. The political structure of the local government is not stable. Another one, tribalism, nepotism is also affecting the local government. Tribalism and nepotism. In the local government structure, administrative structure of the local government, there is too much of issue of tribalism, nepotism. This one is my people, he's coming from my village, is this so? Because they believe local government is a tribe government. This is our local government, it's owned by our people. Before you can get job there, you must be within that area. That is tribalism, nepotism. It happens most in the local government structure. Those are the problems and challenges of the local government. Now, let's look at concept of financial memoranda for local government. Concept of financial memoranda for local government. What is financial memoranda for local government? This financial memoranda for local government is just like an accounting manual published by the federal government, which contain the guideline, the rule, and regulation on how local government should carry out their operation and how local government should keep their finances, how local government should prepare their financial statements. This financial memoranda was published in 1991 by the federal government to guide the local government what they need to be preparing in terms of their financial statement, how they should be running their operations. And when they publish it, they send the copy to each of the local government that we have in Nigeria as part of their manual that they will be using to operate. In this financial memoranda, it also talks about what is the function of local government chairman, what is the function of local government chairman, treasurer, what is the function of council manager. Everything is stated in the financial memoranda. Now, let's look at objective of financial memoranda. This objective of financial memoranda. Number one objective is to expressly highlight the implication of disbursing government funds and property without proper authority and approval. In this financial memoranda, it's saying that if they want to disburse money, if local government want to make any payment, there must be authorization. There must also be what? Approval. Somebody should authorize, another person should approve. Another objective of financial memoranda to serve as administrative guideline which facilitate day-to-day running of the local government. How we run the operation of the local government on a day-to-day basis is already been stated in the financial memoranda. How many departments are we supposed to have in the local government? It's already been stated in the financial memoranda. Another objective of financial memoranda to facilitate recording of local government financial transactions using the appropriate accounting method. In this financial memoranda, is going to give us the guideline. What are the financial reports local government should be preparing, and how does local government prepare the financial reports? To serve as learning tools for officer on first appointment or on transfer to a new section. When you are just employed by the local government, maybe you are just employed into the finance department of the local government, the first thing that they will give you to understand how local government operation is being run is to give you the financial memoranda. You are going to read it. This is what local government, this is the function of every officer in the local government. This is how we relate to, this is kind of book. This is how we prepare local government budget. So, those are the objectives of financial memoranda. What are the content of financial memoranda? Content of financial memoranda. Content of financial memoranda. Number one, the format of budget and budgetary control. In the financial memoranda, it has the format on how local government should prepare their budget. It has been stated in the financial memoranda. Like I said, the first financial memoranda was published in 1991, but they normally update it as the need arises. So I remember just of recent, there is a new financial memoranda. So the format of budget and budgetary control, how do we prepare local government budget? It has been stated in the financial memoranda. Another one, the financial responsibility of the chairman and other accounting officer of a local government. What is the financial responsibility of the local government chairman? It is stated in the financial memorandum. Another content of financial memorandum, the responsibility of the local government secretary, treasurer, head of department. The responsibility of local government secretary, treasurer, and head of department. The power and function of Auditor General for the local government is also stated as the content of financial memoranda. The various financial offenses and their respective sanction is one of the content of financial memoranda too. What are those offenses? As an officer of the local government, what are those financial offenses you may commit? If you collect bribe, what are the offense? What is the implication? It's an offense. If you inflate contract, cost, or invoice, it's an offense. Their respective sanction is being stated in the financial memoranda. So financial memoranda is very key in local government. When you just join a local government, they have to give you financial memoranda. Can you hear me clearly?
Oh, your
Hello?
voice is low. Yes, please.
Okay.
We can hear you clearly.
Okay.
From my end, I can hear you clearly, sir.
Okay. The means of revenue collection and control too. The means of revenue collection and control is also the content, one of the content of financial memoranda. So those are the content of financial memoranda that we have. Now, one of the last heading that we will look at in this topic of local government accounting is how local government determine fee that they charge, fee charging policy in local government, fee charging policy in local government. If local government want to charge a fee for a particular service or for a particular, they want to, for a rate you want to pay, how do we determine the fee? What are the factor, consideration that will determine the fee charging of the local government? What are the considerations that will determine that? The level of development in the area. The level of what? Development in the area. How? VI, Lekki, Banana Island, all those developing areas. The tenement rates, the shop and kiosk rate, local government will, the radio and television license, local government will be charging in those areas will be different from Ikorodu local government. Because that place is more developed than Ikorodu. Do you understand? The fee and charges by that local government in the urban area will be different from the one of rural area. Because of what? The level of development in the area. The status of the people in the community. The caliber of the people in that area too. The caliber of the people in that area also depends. Who are the caliber of people living in this area? It depends on, you will look at that before local government can say, this is what I'm charging for tenement rate. This is what I'm charging for motorcycle license. This is what I'm charging for shop and kiosk rate, car park permit. Another one, the nature of service to be rendered. The nature of service to determine. And we have the skill and technical competence of those required to perform the service. The skills and technical competence of those required to perform the service too. Those are the factors. You may be asked, what are the factors that determine the fee charging policy of the local government? Number one, the level of development in the area, the status of people in the community, the nature of service to be rendered, the skills, technical competence of those required to perform the service. Those are the factors that determine that. Hope this is clear. Hope this is clear.
Yes, please.
So that's on local government. So the next thing we have in this local government is for us to solve a question. I have a question here called Omida Island Local Government Council. They maintain a staff restaurant. But for this today, I can't solve the question because I will need a whiteboard marker. So the management, they are working on whiteboard marker for us to use as a lecturer. It's going to aid any question that involve calculation so that students can understand. So this question, I have the solution already, but I won't solve it today. So before I proceed, so I have to solve it when the whiteboard marker is available, probably maybe by next week or upper week. So as a result of that, we are going to move to the next topic called public debt and debt management. Any question, any issue on local government accounting so far? Any question, any issue? So,
hello, sir. Please,
yes, sir.
I joined late, so I want to know the topic. Which
The
chapter
topic is,
which chapter
we started the topic last week. We
Okay.
started the topic last week. It's called local government accounting. Let me summarize again. For
Which
those who are
chapter?
not
Which
aware.
chapter is that in the ICAN pack?
I don't know the chapter. It's part of the course outline. It is
Okay.
called local government accounting. Local
Okay.
government work accounting.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So let me just use 10 minutes to summarize for
Okay,
those
sir.
who are
Thank
not
you, sir.
around last week. In this local government accounting, we said local government is the third tier of government created to provide growth and development at the grassroots. And as we all know, local government was created in 1976. And as at present, the total number of local government that we have in Nigeria is what? 774 local governments. That is the thing. So from there, we now say reason for creation of local government. Why do we create local government? What are the reasons for creation of local government? We mentioned that last week. One of the reasons for creation of local government is what? To bring government closer to the people at the grassroots. Local government is the government that is close to the people. You understand? If anything happens within an area, the first contact of government you can make contact to is the local government. Because your area, there will be a local government office that is near to your area. Before you say you want to go to the state secretariat, you may travel for like 2 hours before you can reach the state government secretariat. You understand? So the first contact government you must contact to is the local government. Local government, they will be the one to contact the state. State will contact the federal. So one of the reasons for creation of local government is to bring government closer to the people. We said that last week. Another one is to accelerate development. To accelerate development. They believe that when they create local government, there will be rapid development. Most of the area, especially the rural area, that state government cannot reach, local government will be the one to ensure that place developed, because in one or two ways, it's going to fall under local government. We mentioned that. And we said another reason for creation of local government is local government serve as a training ground for future political leaders. Some of those people who are aspiring to become governor, senator, House of Rep, the ideology is that some of them have to start from the grassroots, which is from the local government. You may start from, you contest from the councillor. From councillor, you become chairman. From chairman, you become House of Rep. From House of Rep, you become senator. From senator, you may become governor. You understand? What they are saying in essence is serve as a training ground. You will have gained experience while you are working in the local government, so that when you are now in the state, you are now elected to the position, to any position in the state, you will have experience on how to run government. So local government serve as a training ground for future political leaders. Another reason for creation of local government, like we mentioned last week, to address the issue of domination. To address what? The issue of domination and marginalization. We mentioned that too last week. We also mentioned one of the reasons for creation of local government is local government will provide job opportunity, employment opportunity. When they create local government, some of the people, especially in the rural area, they are employed. Local government, at least in some local government, they will have a staff strength like 400, 500 staff. It's part of means of creating employment. Can you imagine? We have 774 local governments in Nigeria. If averagely, each local government have like 400 staff, 774 times 400. Can you imagine the number of people working in the local government? That creates a job opportunities too. So it provides employment opportunity. To provide employment opportunity is one of the reasons why they create local government. Some of those people that are agitating to work for state government, if they don't have advantage of working for state, working for federal, they may have advantage. They may see the opportunity of working for local governments. So it creates employment opportunity. Another reason for creation of local government, like I said last week, is what? To establish a channel of communication. Channel of communication means channel of command, chain of command. If there is a crisis that is going on in an area, in a community, the first contact that the CDA of that community will make contact with is the local government chairman. Is the local government chairman. Local government chairman will be the one to contact the state, while the state governor is going to contact the president. That is channel of what? Communication. Is one of the reasons for creation of local government. From there, we talk about function of local government. We talk about what? Function of what? Local government. What are the function of local government? Mention. One of the function of local government is they make recommendation to the state government on the development of the local government area. They will be the one to recommend to the state government what are the kind of development that each of the area require. Do you understand? What are the kind of development that they need to provide? They will be the one to recommend to the state governor. Our state governor, this our area, they need a pedestrian bridge. Pedestrian bridge. They need a good road. They need secondary school. That is one of the functions of local government. Another function of local government, they will be the one to establish maintenance of cemetery, home for destitute. Why another function of local government is, local government, they will be the one to give licensing of bicycle, tricycle, truck, motor car, etc. Another one, establishment and maintenance of public market is one of the functions of local government. Public market, car park, public convenience, which is public toilet. Construction and maintenance of road. Some of the road, inner road, close road, will be constructed and maintained by the local government. Some of the drainages will be maintained and constructed by the local government. It's one of their functions too. Construction and maintenance of road, streets, drain, park, and other public facility. Another function of local government, like we mentioned last week, naming of road, numbering of houses. We have another function called registration of death, birth, marriage certificate. So those are the functions of local government. We mentioned that last week. Last week, we also talked about sources of revenue of a local government. Sources of what? Revenue of a local government. For the sources of revenue of local government, we classify the sources into 3 headings: statutory sources, permissive sources, and incidental sources. Statutory sources, permissive sources, and what? Incidental sources. That is how we classify the sources of local government. Under the statutory sources, one of the sources of local government revenue under statutory is statutory allocation from federation account. That statutory allocation from federation account is 20.60 of that federation account that will be shared to the local government. And like I said last week, this statutory allocation to the federation account is paid to the local government joint account for each of the states, which is going to be approved, which is going to be signed by the governor. It's not paid direct to the local government account. It's just of recent that the Supreme Court make a judgment that this statutory allocation should be paid direct to the local government account, but they are yet to implement the judgment. So that is statutory allocation. Under the statutory allocation too, we mentioned that one of the statutory sources of under the statutory sources of revenue, that one is 10% state internally generated revenue. A state government, if they generate revenue every month, take for instance, if Lagos State generates 580 billion in a month, the law say 10% of that 580 billion should be shared to the local government within Lagos State. That is statutory sources too. It's one of the statutory sources. Another statutory sources that we mentioned last week is share of value-added tax. Value-added tax collected by FRS is being shared among the 3 tiers of government. Federal government have their own share. State government have their own share. Local government have their own share. I think 35% of the total value-added tax collected is being shared to the local government. That is one of the statutory sources of local government revenue. Last week again, we talked about the permissive sources of local government revenue. We talked about radio and television license, shop and kiosk rate, tenement rate, slaughter slab fee, marriage, birth, and death registration fee. All these are what? Permissive sources of local government revenue. Market, motor park levies. They are permissive sources of local government revenue. We mentioned that last week. After that, we go to incidental sources of revenue. Incidental, under the incidental, proceeds from economic projects undertaking. Proceeds from economic project undertaking is also known as proceeds from commercial undertaking. Local government can venture into business. Revenue that they receive from any business that they embark upon is the proceeds from commercial undertaking or economic project. Example, in the north, some of the local government will have a land that they farm. And after they harvest the crop, they sell it and they make profit. Some local government have a transport business. Some local government, they have an event center, renting of all that they rent to people for an event. Is proceed from commercial undertaking. Is one of the incidental sources of local government revenue. Part of the incidental sources of local government revenue, grant from federal government or state government. We mentioned that last week. Grant from federal government or state government. And we also mentioned part of the incidental sources of revenue of a local government is investment income. Example, interest on fixed deposit, dividends received from shares. All these are incidental sources of revenue. Donation from private individual, private company is part of incidental sources of revenue. And last week, we also talked about administrative structure of the local government, administration of local government council. Who are the head of the local government? Who run the affair of the local government? We mentioned that the affair of the local government is managed by the following people: the local government chairman, the vice chairman, the supervisor, the treasurer, the secretary, the head of personnel. And last week, I now said, as a student of accounting, some of us, we may find ourselves in the long run working in the local government. We will be working in the finance department, and the head of the finance department is the local government treasurer. So what are the functions of local government treasurer? We mentioned that last week. Rendering of financial advice to the local government, serve as secretary to budget committee. We mentioned that last week. Render of tourism to the state and federal government is part of the local government treasurer. So that is what we discussed so far on the local government accounting last week, before now continue from today. Hope it's clear. Any question, any issue, any observation? So can we proceed now?
Yes, sir, we can.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So we have done with local government accounting. What we have left is for us to solve question on this local government, which I'm saying that once I have a whiteboard marker, I'm going to solve the question. The question is already in this study material. So, and the solution is there, but for easy understanding and clarity, it is good for us to use whiteboard marker. So we can proceed now by moving to the next topic called public debt and debt management. Public debt and debt management. Public debt and debt management. That is the next topic. Public debt. What do we understand by public debt? Public debt. Debt means borrowing, loan. Individual, company, they borrowed money to finance their operation. Likewise, too, government too, they borrowed money to construct road, to construct school, to build more airports, to provide security. The money that government borrowed is called public debt. So, clear definition of public debt is the total accumulated borrowing by the government or public authority from home and abroad. The total accumulated what? Borrowing by the government or public authority from home and abroad. From home and abroad means government can borrow money within the country. They can leave the country and go outside to go and borrow money. Internal loan and external loan. Internal debt and external debt. So the total accumulated borrowing by the government or public authority from home and abroad is called public debt. Some people said public debt can be referred as total amount of money borrowed by government, either within or outside the economy, for the purpose of what? For the purpose of financing development program or to support balance of payment position. That is another definition of public debt. That is another definition of public debt. Now, let's look at classification of public debt. How do we classify public debt? How do we classify them? Number one classification of public debt is marketable debt and non-marketable debt. Marketable debt and non-marketable debt. Marketable debt and non-marketable debt. What is marketable debt? Those are the public debt. Those are the government borrowing that can be bought and sold in the financial market. Government borrowing that can be traded in the financial market. They are called marketable debt. Example of marketable debt: treasury bill, treasury certificate, development stock. They can be traded in the financial market. How? When you subscribe for treasury bill or you subscribe for development stock, before it mature, you that subscribe for it, if you don't want to wait till it mature when you get your money back, you can sell it in the financial market, in the stock exchange. You can sell it to another person. So that is marketable debt. Marketable debt are those debts that can be bought and sold in the financial market, e.g., treasury bill, treasury certificate, federal government development stock. It can be traded in the financial market. That is marketable debt. Non-marketable debt. Non-marketable debt. What are the non-marketable debts? Those are the government debts that are issued in favor of specific debt holder. What this one is saying is, these are the government debts that cannot be traded in the financial market. That means government issue it to specific debt holder. That person that has that marketable debt cannot trade it to another person, cannot transfer it to another party. That is non-marketable debt. Another classification is funded debt and unfunded debt. Funded debt and what? Unfunded debt. Funded debt and unfunded debt. Funded debt is a debt in which provision is made to facilitate repayment of the debt by creation of sinking fund. Let me repeat again. Funded debt is a debt in which provision is made to facilitate repayment of the debt by creation of what? Sinking fund, in which some of the money is deposited yearly by the government. Funded debt means those debts, they are long-term debts. But when you want to start paying them, when government wants to start paying them, They have created a sinking fund account. It is sinking fund account. Government will be moving money to pay off the debt yearly. How? Take for instance, most of the public debt, most of the government debt, this public debt, one of their features is that they normally have long repayment period, and they also give them moratorium period. Public debt, sometimes if government want to go and borrow money, they will say they want to pay back for 30 years, 40 years, 20 years. That means the repayment period is long. And another thing is that if government went to go and borrow money, the lender will give government what is called moratorium period. Moratorium period means before you start paying back your loan, your debt, there will be some today. Take for instance, this is 2025. Government obtain a debt now. They may give them 2
Sorry,
years
sir.
Yeah.
Your voice it was breaking at the time you want to explain that moratorium period this thing. So I could not hear that aspect very well.
Okay. I said moratorium period means grace period. When you obtain a loan, or if government obtain a loan, they can give them some holiday. Before they start paying back the loan, they will give them some time, holiday period, meaning that for like 2 years or 3 years, they will not pay back. It is after 2 years or 3 years, they will start paying back. For public debt normally have long repayment period. The repayment period of public debt normally long, like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And another thing is they normally give government moratorium period, meaning that it is maybe after 3 years or after 2 years, they will start paying back. Relating to funded debt, government obtain a loan. Before they start paying back, they give them 5 years moratorium period. That means it is after 5 years to start paying. But government cannot wait till after 5 years. For the funded debt, they now went to go and create a sinking fund account. From the beginning of the loan, they are now making some little deposits in that sinking fund account. So that when they start paying back the loan, it is from the sinking fund account that they will be releasing money to pay back the loan. It will not affect the operation. That is funded debt, meaning that it's a debt in which provision is made to facilitate repayment of the debt by creation of sinking fund, in which sum of money is deposited yearly by the government. Hope this is clear.
No, it's not, sir. Please, can you come over again?
Yes. I said funded debt is a debt in which provision is made to facilitate repayment of the debt by creation of a sinking fund, which sum of money is deposited yearly by the government. What we are saying is, when government collects a loan, let me explain the practical illustration of this funded debt. Government collects a loan, and the repayment period of that loan is 30 years. And they give them maybe 3 years moratorium period. That means before they start paying back, it is after 3 years. That moratorium period means grace period, holiday period, which means within that moratorium period, they will not pay back the loan. The advantage of giving moratorium period, it will make government to use the loan efficiently. Now, when they give them moratorium period, government cannot wait till moratorium period expire. They have created a sinking fund account with a commercial bank. Within the moratorium period, every year, government normally deposit money in that sinking fund account. So after the moratorium period now lapse, when they want to start paying back the loan, instead of government paying back the loan direct, it is from the sinking fund account created during the moratorium period, government will be repaying back the debt. Because that sinking fund account, it will yield interest. It's just like deposit account. You deposit your money, they will be paying you interest. That sinking fund account will yield value. So it is from the sinking fund account, government will repay back the loan for some period of time so that it will not affect their operation.
Who will now deposit the money in that
That
secret
is
fund account?
funded. It is government, the government.
Okay.
So that is what? Funded debt. Unfunded debt is a short time debt, debt that is less than a year, where no sinking fund account is created by government to repay the debt. That means that unfunded debt is payment of that unfunded debt is made direct from the government current account, which is the consolidated revenue account. Government did not create any sinking fund account to repay the debt because it's a short-time debt. When they want to pay back the debt, they pay it back from the consolidated revenue fund account, which is their current account. They did not create any sinking fund account. It's just like opposite to funded debt. That is unfunded debt. Funded debt is a long-time debt. Unfunded is what? Short-time
Long-time debt.
short-term debt. So those are the difference. Do we understand?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
You
you
went
can.
off
Okay.
mic for some
Where do
time.
we stop? Where do we stop?
You are done with your funded debts now, so I think it's number 3 you want to explain.
Okay, number 3 classification now is reproductive debt and dead weight debt. Reproductive debt and what? Dead weight debt. Reproductive debt is a debt in which the amount is used to finance a project that will generate revenue in the long run to the government. And the proceeds of the revenue is used to repay back the debt. What reproductive debt is saying now is government bought
So you're breaking.
Hello. Hello. That project will generate revenue for a long period of time. And it is from the proceeds of the revenue, government will repay back the debt. E.g., government borrowed a loan to construct railway system. After they finish constructing of the rails, they commercialize it. The proceeds that they are seeing from the railway project, they are using it to repay back the debt. That means that debt is reproductive. It's paying back himself. It generates revenue that can pay back the debt. The project that may use the money for generate revenue that can pay back the debt. That is reproductive. Government construct a road, major road. After they finish the construction of the road, they now put toll gates. From the proceeds of the toll gate, they will be paying back the debt that they borrow while constructing the road. That is reproductive debt. That's not reproductive debt. It is from the proceeds of the road, the toll gate, the toll that they collect, that they will use to pay back the loan that they borrow when they want to construct the road. That is reproductive debt. Now, unproductive debt. Unproductive debt. Unproductive debt is also unproductive debt is otherwise called dead weight debt. Unproductive debt is otherwise called dead weight debt. Unproductive debt is otherwise called dead weight debt. It is a debt that is used to finance a project that does not increase the economic capacity of the country. It is a debt government uses to finance a project that does not increase the economic capacity of the country. In a nutshell, it is opposite to reproductive debt. It is a debt that government uses to finance a project that does not generate revenue. E.g., government borrowed a loan to finance natural disaster. Is it generating revenue? No. Government borrowed a loan to fight insurgency war. Is it generating revenue? No. Government borrowed a loan to address one of the major pandemics like coronavirus. Is it generating revenue? No. Somebody want to ask a question. Ask your question. What is your question? Okay. So that is dead. Hello? Increase productive capacity of the country, of the economy, or government borrowed the debt to finance a project that does not generate any revenue to the government in the long run. That is what? Dead weight debt. Hope this is clear. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, number 4 classification of debt is called domestic debt and external debt. Domestic. Hello, sir. Debt. Yes? I can hear you.
Borrowing from.
Your line is breaking up. Your line is breaking. Your line is breaking.
Competitive market rate.
Please, maybe you can send your question by text message.
Okay.
Yeah, your line is breaking. Another classification of debt that we have is called domestic debt and external debt. Domestic debt and what? External debt. Domestic debt and external debt. Domestic debt is otherwise called internal debt. While external debt is otherwise called foreign debt. Domestic debt is otherwise called internal debt. External debt is otherwise called foreign debt. What is domestic debt? The total government borrowing, borrowing within the country, the total loan government borrowed within the country, it is domestic debt. The total money owed by government to its local creditors, it is domestic debt. So that is domestic debt, which is internal debt. The total government borrowing within the country is domestic debt. Now, what are the sources of domestic debt? If government want to borrow money within the country, what are the sources? Sources of domestic debt. Number one, central bank. Government can approach central bank to help them issue out treasury bill, development stock, treasury certificate. Commercial banks too. Government can approach some state government, local government, even federal government. They can approach some commercial bank to borrow money. Another one, non-bank public like insurance company, savings institution. They can borrow money from them too. So those are the sources of domestic debt, which is internal debt. Example of internal debt. Example of internal debt or domestic debt. Treasury bill is internal within the country. Treasury certificate is internal. Development stock is internal. Revenue bond is internal. Is with the country. If God want to issue out, is within Nigeria through CBN. Development is within Nigeria. Revenue is within Nigeria.
Oh, sir, your voice is breaking seriously, sir.
Voice is and me clearly. Somebody, my voice is breaking. Can you hear me?
Now we can
We
hear
can,
you now.
we can
We
hear
can
you
hear you,
now.
sir.
Then your network was a little bit down.
Okay. It's network. It's not my voice. It's network. We know Nigeria. We are in Nigeria, so most of the network is not going very well. So that is the thing. So now, still on domestic debt and external debt, I've explained domestic debt. Now, external debt. External debt simply means the total money owed by government to oversee country. The total government borrowing outside the country. The total government borrowing outside the country. Or the total money owed by government to oversee country, to oversee government, to foreign creditors. That is what? External debt. External debt is otherwise called foreign debt. So, example of external debt. If government want to go and borrow money outside the country, what are the examples? They may borrow balance or payment support loan. They may borrow project tie-down loan. These are the examples of external debt. Loan for social economic need. Trade arrear. These are the examples of external debt. Trade arrear, balance or payment support loan, project tie-down loan, loan for social economic needs. All these are the examples of external debt. So these are the examples of external debt. Now, what are the sources of external debt? Where do we get 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 external debt? Sources of external debt. Where
Sir,
do we
this
get
trade
external debt?
hello, sir, wait. This trade areas is
Okay.
under the examples of what? Is it on
External
this?
debt.
Okay.
So trade area is under the example of external debt.
Okay.
So what are the sources? How do we get external debt? One of the sources of external debt is Paris Club of Creditors. Paris Club of Creditors is in France. London Club of Creditors too. They are foreign financial institutions too. Multilateral creditor. Who are the multilateral creditor? They are the IMF. Example of multilateral creditor. IMF. EG. IMF. World Bank. European Development Bank. African Development Bank. They are the example of what? Multilateral creditor. IMF, World Bank, European International Bank, EIB, AFDB, African Development Bank. They are the multilateral creditors. They are part of the foreign financial institutions. Promissory note creditors too. They are the sources of one of the sources of external debt. Private sector creditors like Google, Microsoft. Government can buy something from them on credit. They are one of the sources of external debt too. So these are the sources of external debt. So we have talked about classification of public debt. In our classification, we classify public debt into 4 classifications. Number 1 is marketable and non-marketable debt. Number 2, funded debt and unfunded debt. Number 3, reproductive debt and deadweight debt. While number 4 classification is what? Domestic debt and external debt. Domestic debt and what? External debt. So these are the classification of public debt that we have. So the next line we are going to go to is, what are the reasons for public debt? Reason for public debt. What are the reasons for public debt? Why government borrowed money? Or objective of public debt? Factor responsible for accumulation of public debt. They are all the same thing. If you study the past question very well, this point I want to mention, I can normally ask questions from this area too much. In most of the diet, they normally ask questions. In some diets, they will ask, what are the reasons for government borrowing? Government borrowing is otherwise known as public debt. In one diet, they ask, what are the objectives of public debt? It's still the same point. In one diet, they ask, what are the factors responsible for accumulation of public debt? It's still the same point. Just of recent, about 2 diets ago or 3 diets ago, they asked, what are the reasons for external debt? It's still reason for public debt because external debt is part of public debt. Do we understand? All these points I want to mention, ICAN can ask it in different ways. They can ask, what are the objectives of public debt or objective of government borrowing? reason for government borrowing is the same point you are going to mention. Factor responsible for accumulation of public debt is the same point you are going to mention. Now, let's look at the point one by one. Why does government borrow? Reason for public debt or objective of government borrowing public debt. Number one, exchange rate movement. Exchange rate what? Movement. One of the reasons why government borrow, because of fluctuation in exchange rates. Fluctuation in what? Exchange rates. Every day, dollar is appreciating against our local currency. Our local currency don't have value. And government budgets through our local currency. By the time they start spending, and most of what government budgeted for, they have been imported to the country. That means they will source for dollar to buy them. By the time government starts spending the money will not be enough because of rate of exchange has changed. As a result of that, government will need to borrow more money to supplement the budget because of exchange rate movement, which is fluctuation in the foreign exchange rate. Dollar is appreciating against our major currency. So as the value of our major currency is going down, to supplement the budget, government need to borrow more money. So that is one of the reasons for borrowing. Another reason or factor accumulation for public debt is external shock. External what? Shock. External shock means drastic reduction in the prices of crude oil internationally. The benchmark for crude oil price reduced. You know, Nigeria government, about 6 years ago, we solely depend on oil revenue. In our budget, if you look at the summary of our budget, our major revenue 6 years ago is coming from revenue from oil. We are not focusing on tax. It's just of recent we are focusing on tax. We focus more on revenue from oil, sales of crude oil, because we normally sell crude oil. That is where we get money to finance our budget in the past. But when the prices of crude oil internationally is crashing because of some reason, maybe because of war or because of international competition between the oil producing country, government does not have enough money from the budget, and they have not planned on how to generate money from the tax. They don't have any option to go and do what? To go and borrow money. Because of prices of crude oil is going down, it's affecting our revenue from oil. To supplement the budget, we need to borrow money. It's one of the reasons for public debt. Another reason for public debt is interest capitalization due to default in payments. Interest capitalization due to different. Why does government debt keep increasing? Some of the government debt that government borrow, they are not paying on time. Once they are not paying on time, the interest is now capitalizing. They are now capitalizing the interest. As they are capitalizing the interest, the debt is increasing on a daily basis. So that one is one of the factors responsible for accumulation of public debt. Another one, for the sake of time, low domestic saving. Low domestic saving. Low domestic saving. Nigeria government, we don't have saving culture. Our resources, the government resources, when government have money, they expend it. They don't plan for future. In the past, there was a time when the prices of crude oil internationally has value. That time, we are seeing a lot of money from crude oil. But we don't make provision for our external reserve that, let's keep money in the external reserve so that when the price of crude oil come down, we can fall back on that external reserve. We don't have saving culture. When we don't have money again, we have to go and borrow. It's one of the reasons for borrowing too. Weak and persistent budget deficits too. Every day, if government want to prepare budget, they will have budget deficit. Even this 2025 budget is in deficit. What do we mean by deficit? The revenue projection is less than the expenditure projection. When they ask the president, how do you want to finance the budget deficit? Do you know what the president said? Who can tell me? Who can tell me what the president said when the president is signing the budget into law? President said this budget deficit, we don't have any option than to go and do what? To go and do what?
Borrow.
Borrowed money. So one of the reasons why we borrowed money is to finance budget deficits. If you look at 2025 budget of Nigeria government, the expenditure, both recurrent and capital expenditure, is more than the revenue. How does government will now finance the difference? It's through borrowing. That means definitely in this year, government must do what?
Borrow.
Must borrow. Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
So, weak and persistent budget deficit is one of the reasons or factor accumulation for public debt. So, another one for the sake of time. For the sake of time, rapid increase in population. Rapid what?
Increase in population.
Our population, the population of Nigeria is increasing day by day.
People are producing sugar.
As the population is growing in a geometric progression, the need of the people too is increasing. How government will provide the need, the service that government will render to the people. As our population is growing, government need to build more hospitals. Abi? Government need to construct more roads. Government need to create more, to build more schools. Government need to provide more securities. If population is increasing in a geometric progression and the revenue of the government is not increasing, how do we expect to address that population increasing? We don't have any option than to go and do what? Borrowed money. So one of the reasons why government borrowed money is as a result of rapid increase in population. As the population is increasing, the need of the people from the government is increasing. How government will provide the need is to go and borrow money. So one of the reasons why government borrowed money too is to support balance of payment disequilibrium. Balance of payment what? Disequilibrium. Balance of payment disequilibrium means our import is more than what? Our exports. How will government ensure that we address this issue of balance of payment disequilibrium? Balance of payment disequilibrium is not good. So if government want to solve the problem of balance of payment disequilibrium, government need to go and borrow money so that they will create more industry, they will support more industry, They will build more roads so that more investors will come to Nigeria, so that our exports will be more than what our imports. In the long run, we will now have favorable balance of payments. In the long run, we will not have favorable balance of payments. Implementation of development program. One of the reasons why government borrows too. Implementation of development program. Government may have some development program that is going to develop, they need to fund that program. Example, the development program is Lagos Calabar Coast Road is one of the major projects that our get not sustain. Our revenue cannot sustain. It's a development program because by then they finish the road. That means if you are going to Calabar from Lagos State, within 5 hours, you are already in Calabar. You understand? Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. How does government need to do this project? Or Lagos Ibadan railway system, rail system. All these are development programs. Upgrading of our electricity infrastructure so that the megawatts we are producing every day will increase is a development. How will government do this? Our budget cannot sustain them. We don't have any option than to go and do what? Good money. So economic instability is one of the reasons why government borrows too. If economy is not stable, there is inflation in the country. For government to ensure that there is stabilization of the economy, government need to pump money to the release money to the economy. So by doing that, government need to ensure that there is price stability. So giving out subsidies to some of the products. In such case, they need to go and borrow money. One of the reasons why government borrowed money is to address the issue of natural disaster. Natural disaster. Natural disaster is something that we don't plan for. We don't expect it to happen. We don't plan for it. It just happens suddenly. How to address the issue since we don't plan for it? Take for instance, in the year that COVID-19 occurred, government did not plan that COVID-19 is coming. When COVID-19 occurred, it affects government revenue. Government don't have enough revenue. For government to address that COVID-19, so government need to go and borrow money to buy some vaccine, to put some measure in place so that the spread of the epidemic disease will reduce. Boko Haram, insurgency. Government did not plan that it's going to happen. It just happened suddenly. For government to address such an issue, something that is not yet in the budget, government need to go and borrow money. So that's one of the reasons why government borrowed money. So fluctuation in government revenue. Government revenue. Take for instance, this year, government budget that they are going to realize 20 trillion, maybe 16 trillion from tax. If they did not realize up to that during the year, they have not realized up to that. To supplement the budget, to finance the budget, they need to go and borrow because their revenue expectation has reduced. So these are the factors. So ladies and gentlemen, this point I mentioned, reason, factor, objective of public debt, factor responsible for accumulation of borrowing. At least we must know 8 points here. I can normally ask questions mostly in this area.
8 points?
Jesus.
Yes. 8 points is much. I was even thinking it's 5 points.
8 points. 8. Exchange rate movement, external shock, interest capitalization, low domestic saving, huge and persistent budget deficits, Inappropriate domestic economy policy, poor external debt management is one of the reasons. Rapid economic increase in population is one of the reasons. Balance of payment disequilibrium is one of the reasons why government borrow. Economic instability is one of the reasons why government borrowed money. Implementation of development program is one of the reasons why government borrowed money. Natural disaster is one of the reasons why government borrowed money. Fluctuation in government revenue is one of the reasons why government borrowed money. So, ladies and gentlemen, for today, this is where we stop. By next week, we continue from public debt. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So, any question, any issue? So, any question? So, in the
this
absence of
material, sir.
yes,
How far, sir?
I've sent it to the group chat. I've sent it to the group chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I've sent it to the
Okay.
group chat. Yes. So, thank you for having me. Have a nice day.